The Coromandel Coast is the southeastern coast region of the Indian subcontinent, between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal of the Indian Ocean. The coastline runs between False Divi Point in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. Its definition can also include the northwestern coast of the island of Sri Lanka. Etymology: the land of the Chola dynasty was called Colomandelum in Tamil, literally translated as the realm of the Cholas, from which the Portuguese derived the name Coromandel. Description: geography: the coast is generally low, and punctuated by the deltas of several large rivers, including the Kaveri, Pala, Panna, and Krishna River, which rise in the highlands of the Western Ghats and flow across the Deccan Plateau to drain into the Bay of Bengal. The alluvial plains created by these rivers are fertile and favor agriculture. The coastline forms a part of Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. The important ports include Chennai, Thoothukudi, Nellore, Ennore and Nagapattinam, which take advantage of the close proximity with regions rich in natural and mineral resources and good transport infrastructure. Climate: the Coromandel Coast falls in the rain shadow of the Western Ghats mountain range, and receives a good deal less rainfall during the summer southwest monsoons, which contributes heavily to rainfall in the rest of India. A region averages 800 mm per year, most of which falls between October and December. The topography of the Bay of Bengal and the staggered weather pattern prevalent during the season favors northeast monsoons, which have a tendency to cause cyclones and hurricanes rather than a steady precipitation. As a result, the coast is hit by inclement weather almost every year between October and January. The high variability of rainfall patterns is also responsible for water scarcity and famine in most areas not served by the great rivers. For example, the city of Chennai is one of the driest cities in the country in terms of potable water availability, despite high percentage of moisture in the air due to the unpredictable, seasonal nature of the monsoon. Flora: the Coromandel Coast is home to the East Deccan dry evergreen forest ecoregion, which runs in a narrow strip along the coast. Unlike most of the other tropical dry forest biome regions of India, where the trees lose the leaves during the dry season, the East Deccan dry evergreen forests retain the leathery leaves year-round. The Coromandel Coast is also home to extensive mangrove forests along the low-lying coast and river deltas, and several important wetlands, notably Kalively Lake and Pulicat Lake, that provide habitat to thousands of migrating and resident birds. History: by late 1530 the Coromandel Coast was home to 3 Portuguese settlements at Nagapattinam, São Tomé de Amélia and Pulicat. Later, in the 17th and 18th centuries, the Coromandel Coast was the scene of rivalries among European powers for control of the India trade. The British established themselves at Fort St. George and Masulipatam, the Dutch at Pulicat, Sadras and Covelong, the French at Pondicherry, Caracal and Nizampatnam, the Danish in Dansborg at Tharong and Bardi. The Coromandel Coast supplied Indian Muslim eunuchs to the Thai palace and court of Siam. The Thai at times asked eunuchs from China to visit the court in Thailand and advise them on court rituals since they held them in high regard. Eventually the British won out, although France retained the tiny enclaves of Pondicherry and Caracal until 1954. Chinese lacquer goods, including boxes, screens, and chests, became known as Coromandel goods in the 18th century, because many Chinese exports were consolidated at the Coromandel ports. Some of the famous books on the economic history of the Coromandel Coast are 1s. Arasaratnam, Merchants, Companies, and Commerce on the Coromandel Coast, 1650 to 1740, Oxford University Press, 1986, and 2. P. Swarnalatha, the world of the weaver in northern Coromandel, c. 1750 c. On December 26, 2004, one of the deadliest natural disasters in modern history, the Indian Ocean earthquake, struck off the western coast of Sumatra. The earthquake and subsequent tsunami reportedly killed over 220,000 people around the rim of the Indian Ocean. The tsunami devastated the Coromandel Coast, killing many and sweeping away many coastal communities. Applications of the name. 4 ships of the Royal Navy have borne the name HMS Coromandel after the Indian coast. The Coromandel Peninsula in New Zealand was named after one of these ships, and the town of Coromandel, New Zealand, after the peninsula. South Australia and its neighbouring suburb, Coromandel East, gained the name from a ship, the Coromandel, which arrived in Holdfast Bay from London in 1837 with 156 English settlers. After the ship reached the shore, some of its sailors deserted, intending to remain behind in South Australia, and took refuge in the hills in the Coromandel Valley region. A red nail varnish made by Chanel is named Coromandel due to its suggestions of exoticism. One of the earliest super-fast trains of Indian Railways that runs between Howrah and Chennai is named Coromandel Express. In Slovene, the idiom India Koromandia means a land of plenty, a promised land, a utopia where houses are bleached with cheese and covered with cake.